Well, it's Sunday the 16th out here at the other place, and I want to get back to this project. It's been a couple days. I think we worked on it Friday a bit. Got the roof on, and I've got some more things to do to it. I got to put another one of these little end wall pieces in, and then I got some flashing. I'm going to run up all four corners, keep the water out of this this joint here, make sure it stays dry. And anyway, so I was going to get on that. These are the scab pieces I cut off the 4x8 sheets when I built the two sidewalls. That's what I'm using for my little end piece over there. So I figured I'd show how I go about this. First, I measured the width of these pieces that I needed, and basically they are going to see if I can do this. What are we looking at? We're looking at crap. Let me find something to tip the camera with. A chunk of concrete will probably work. Tip the camera up here, we can kind of see what I do. Okay. Alright, so we can kind of see how I do it. I basically just grab a bunch of little scraps of wood here. I got to build my frame to fit around this curb thing here, and my piece of sheathing is going to go all the way out to the edge here, give or take a 1/4 inch. If I got a little short's good. Better than too long. Then I got to cut it again. But so anyway, so out to here, because I'm going to have a 2x2 angle that goes all the way up anyway to cover all that corner up. I just grab my bits of wood that I figure I'm going to end up using, and basically what I'm going to have on my frame, I'll have an upright that goes here and screws into the end here, all the way to the top, and then in order to get a couple pieces that are fair, enough to hold my screws, I'll use a short piece here, and then another piece under this upright and out and on top of this one here. So basically I'm going to need a piece that goes here and a piece that goes here, and then I'll measure my upright after the fact. This piece on the ground here, this piece of pressure treated, I already measured, so that should work out well. But anyway, so now I'm going to go ahead and label these. This one here's got a mill edge on it, and theoretically that's a 90 coming from the mill. At least when I used to work in a lumber mill many years ago, everything I cut was a proper 90. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it close enough. This is just we're not storing marbles here, so it'll be fine. So I'll go ahead and make my mark here, cut off the waist edge, put my mark there so I can just buzz it off with the chop saw. So anyway, that'll be my piece here. So then I'm going to need a piece to come out and over the top here. So I'll just use my chunk for just thickness purposes. Lay another piece. That looks like a square edge that I cut. And I go ahead and butt it up against the outside wall there. Now what I'm doing at the top, I guess I'll show you, I got to run all the way up the side there, but I'm going to put my sheathing on the outside of it. So when I put my top header board, or whatever you want to call it, I basically put it about halfway. I think we can see that, so it hangs down half the distance, so I got something to hook my sheathing to here, and then I can run screws through the outside wall, my 3.5 inchers, slightly toenailed down into this piece to hold that, up strong, which is what I did over here. On this one I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 toenailed, down at an angle into my header board here. And then of course this sideboard is screwed into that end one, and looks like 3, 4, 5, 6 places there with 3.5 inchers, so we're good to go. And then I went ahead and shot the tail end of this guy to the ground here, or not shot, but went ahead and drilled and put in one of my anchors down there. And this wall is going no place, so strengthened everything out. So basically I'm building one of these walls, and that's how I go about it. I just lay my little boards in place. Well, I guess we're half in and half out of the shade, but I'm not moving it anyway. You can kind of see what I'm doing here. Anyway, I got the wall cut. Now I just got to screw it together with my 3.5-inch screws. Pre-drill generally halfway through the first board, and then I go ahead and stick my, run my screw across the soap before I run it on in there. And these guys will be tied together. Actually, I'll probably use 3-inch screws on these. That sets them in 1/2 inch, or sets them in 1.5. Plus the head of the screw drops in just a little bit, so I'd probably pushing 2 inches penetration into this board. Anyway, so I'll run my screws this way, and then this way, and then this way. Anyway, just put it together basically the same way as you do with nails, except I use screws. And I may use my 3.5, so we'll see. Alright, the wall here is ready to stand up and put in place. This side of the shelving braces there, I did not screw in place in case when I stand this thing up in the building something goes, parallelogram or does something weird. I didn't want those to be, way off. So I went ahead and secured the side here that I won't be able to get from the back side later. And the other end I can secure in once I get the wall in place. And, anyway, so I can do that from the door end. And so I'll stand this thing up and get it secured in place, and we'll come back. I don't know what happened there. It shut off, so I'll see if we can do this. Anyway, my wall there is in fact a little bit of a parallelogram. You can see the gap at the top and not at the bottom. It's either that or concrete's a little bit low. But once I pull that up tight the way it belongs, guess you can see it looks crooked here. Bigger at this end than at this end on that gray board. But when I step on the outer wall and bring it down into place, once it's all anchored, it's going to level itself out just nice. So I'll go ahead and anchor this bad boy. Probably what I'll do is I'll go ahead and screw it to this outer wall first, between here and here. Get it all in place where it belongs there. Then I'll anchor the pressure treated down to the ground. Then I'll go ahead and secure this top one from the outside with my big toenails, and we'll come back and look and see if she looks reasonable or not. I'll go get my hammer drill and stuff. Here's the bottom board that I'm putting up over there, and this is the inside edge. So I've been around the edge here where all the studs there go. I've been around that twice, and I've been around the very outside lip here 3 times. And anyway, so that's all prepped, and the next thing then is I'll do the same deal with the face of the perimeter studs on this thing here. Paint that all up real good, and then I'll screw the piece on, and then I'll have to make one for the top end. But anyway, that's how I do this, and hopefully this stuff will last. I'm hoping it'll outlast the both of us over here. Anyway, yeah, she came out and took a look, and really likes the garden shed, so it ought to work out good. Well, the final bit for this thing is to put this flashing here, cut around the notch there and then down, tacked in 4 or 5 places on each side with galvanized, and then I'll paint it. So anyway, that was just kind of the last little bit. Wrap these corners, all of them. Give a final little look at the shed. Wrap the corners with these galvanized things, paint it, and I'm calling it a shed. Shelves have to be put in and whatnot, finished painted, but that's a whole nother project, figuring out the shelves. So that'll be another episode. Anyway, thanks for watching.